Now, we must get down to business. It's all very nice, chatty. But your film, sir, The Raven.
Yes.
It's out on Friday, the 9th of March.
Yes.
Now, it's got elements of horror. It's like a gothic thriller.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Yeah. Well, Edgar Allan Poe was sort of the godfather of goth, and he invented the detective genre, among other things, you know, and he was a real literary giant. And so the story is about him in the last 4 days of his life. No one knows what happened to him in the last 4 days of his life. And the story fictionalizes that there was a serial killer who started recreating his stories, and the police thought Poe did it, and then you have to use Poe to discover the mind of Poe. Poe has to deconstruct his own story, so it's a thriller that gets deep into his stories, which are really unbelievable stuff.
And obviously it covers, you know, these last 4 days. Is that pure imagination, the story of those 4 days?
Well, nobody knows what happened to him. You know, he woke up in someone else's clothes on a park bench, muttering something about Reynolds.
Did he take Ambien?
Ambien Xanax combination.
But he was known to be overserved.
Oh, I see.
He was a big drinker.
I hear you, John. Yes. We've got a little clip. It's near the beginning when the police inspector is kind of figuring out your connection.
Luke Evans.
Luke Evans,
terrific actor.
Oh, cool.
And people shouldn't get the wrong idea. There's a lot of action in the movie as well. There's like fighting, running, dancing, horse riding.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy all that? Do you find it all that easy? Does it come easily to you?
Yeah, I think if you get a chance to do physical stuff, it's great. It's usually, you know, you have to get a good movie to do good stuff in.
Because you quite like extreme sports and stuff, don't you? You like?
Yeah, I like to. Before I get too old, I think it's nice to move around.
But then, I say extreme sports. Some of the stuff you've done. Didn't you drive? Was it a helicopter or a plane you drove into a hurricane?
Well, I got on board. There's a every time there's a hurricane, the National Weather Service flies planes into the hurricanes, and they're called the hurricane hunters, and they drop these little balls that have, I don't know, something in it that tracks the hurricane.
For a bet.
Goes. No. To track the hurricanes, they drop these little radar things, and they keep flying planes through the hurricanes. So I decided it would be a good idea if I could just hitch a ride on one of the planes.
Do they do the same announcements, like, please fasten your seatbelts, we're experiencing a hurricane?
No, it's like, it wasn't really very comforting because I went to the front of the plane and there are these old, like, planes from the 60s, and they're propeller planes. They're not jet engines, because I guess those do better in hurricanes for some reason. And I went up to the
They're less expensive when they crash.
And I went up to the front of the thing, and I saw it, and there was something that was hanging off the nose of it. And I went, and it was like masking tape, and they were like, "Yeah, that's called hurricane metal." I went, okay. But they fly in every hurricane. You know, there's always one going through it. So
Was it so bumpy?
It was kind of bumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like serious turbulence or middle turbulence?
Like the most turbulence.
You should try Ryanair. It's similar, but there's no seats.
Did you do any extreme sports?
Actually, I cross-country ski. I do downhill ski, but I'm very cautious.
Because Marcus, down the end, I never imagined you were sporty, but you are. Like,
Well,
no, you do wakeboarding.
yes. Yeah, no, I like...
We've proof of wakeboarding.
Yeah, look at that.
Now, are you skiing behind a car ferry? Like, what is that road attached to?
A very tall, very fast swimmer. No, it's up on, when you're wakeboarding, there's like a pole on the back of the boat so that when you hit the wake and do your jumps, you're lifted up, as opposed to
Someone
down.
asked me to do that one with what's the one with the parachute on the wakeboard?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That looks like completely
Kiteboarding.
insane. Yeah, kiteboarding.
I'm dying to do that.
That looks
Absolutely
like
dying to do it.
It will kill you.
Well, it looks like it'll rip your arms
Yes.
off. That's the bit I don't understand.
Yeah,
You've got to think, just be torn apart.
Yeah, most of the pull though on that you're strapped onto a harness. With that one, you know, with wakeboarding and stuff, you have to hold on yourself.
Have you ever skydived or jumped out of an airplane or anything?
Done the bungee thing.
I fell down an escalator. Which is all right, because it takes you back up, so...
Where did you bungee jump?
I can't remember the area, but they had a huge thing, and they lifted you up, and then you had to self-release, and then you fall, and I thought, I'm not going to do this again.
Yeah. The popularity of bungee jumping must have gone down after that video of the woman who bungee jumped over the Zambezi full of crocodiles, and the cord just snapped. And she went down the river with her feet still bound together.
See, the thing is, you said, like that's a sad story. If somebody dies on the top of Mount Everest, I don't feel sad for them. You're not supposed to be up there.
That's a good point.
You know, it's like if you're bungee, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, but like, you decided to go up there.
Like that.
Human beings are not
bungee jumping over a crocodile-infested river.
Yeah,
and look, a bad thing happened.
Oh my God.
I mean, I wish them well. I don't want to.
She did survive, didn't she?
She did, yeah.
Yeah,
She was fine.
Bits of her did, anyway. Because you love the snowboarding as well.
The snowboarding's the big thing for me. That I am obsessed with.
I'm into that, too.
I love it.
I like that.
I just got back, and I'm going back out because the Altitude Festival... Basically, when I was a club comic years ago, I figured out that a week off work to go snowboarding was very expensive, so I called a guy randomly in the Alps, and I said, look, how about I come and tell jokes and you pay for me to go sliding? And I do it now every year. It's been running for 11 years.
You've turned it into a kind of a
and now
big festival.
It's a big festival. This year, Altitude has got Jimmy Carr. I'll read them off there.
Yeah.
Frankie Boyle, Tim Minchin, Kevin Bridges, Ed Byrne, Michael Windsor. Oh, I'm a long way down that list. Whatever.
And many, many more.
But it's great, you know, because all the comics, they go up on the hill and ride, you know, and then tell jokes in the evening. It's perfect.
And will this be the stuff you're going to do in Edinburgh? Because you're doing a new show this year in Edinburgh.
I'm writing a new show called The Brigstocke Society, which is based on the Big Society ideological rip-off. But it's basically taken the idea, our government, what they've done is they've ruined everything.
I mean, I was going to say when you said the tsunami, the fat guy in the water, I was going to no, it's the banks falling.
Yeah, exactly. But what they did is they had the previous government just tee it up, and then this one's really, really just ruined it with the help of Nick Clegg, who we all thought was nice. To explain, Nick Clegg is kind of like the Tim Henman of British politics. Like, no one really wanted him to win, and then he did, and now we all hate him.
That sounds like the entire Republican GOP field in America right now.
It's so exciting to see which lunatic. Which lunatic is going to... Why don't they just go to an asylum and take whichever one has smeared the most feces on their trousers and then run for the Republican Party? It's incredibly nice. Well,
they may.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny till one of them becomes president. That's the really it's like, ha ha ha, really they're in charge? Scary.
So I'm writing a show based on the idea of the Big Society, but actually taking it as a positive.
But don't sugarcoat it, you know, tell them how you feel.
Yeah, no, I won't.
Yeah.
People matter.
I'm expecting many, many limbs to be flung at me during this tour.
Not by me.
Truth hurts.
And that's August in Edinburgh.
Yeah, that'll start in August and then
Very
tour
good.
through the rest of the year.
Very, very good. Now, Goldie Hawn, you've been away, but now you're back with a book.
Yes, I've come back with a book.
Yes, you have. 10 Mindful Minutes, which ironically it took you about 9 mindful years to write.
Not really.
I
did start the Foundation for Children about 9 years ago, you're right. And the foundation, what we're doing is bringing more well-being to children in the classroom, teaching them to become stress-free, to recognize stress, learn about their brain, and become more emotionally stable, which is how children actually have an opportunity to learn.
So is it like a guide to parenting?
This one was actually stimulated by parents coming to me and saying, we need this program because our children are doing well. They're bringing us reasons to calm down. They're giving us tools. We need this program. So I wrote this, basically extrapolated from the program called Mind Up. It's tens of thousands of children are experiencing it in Canada and the US and in Australia, and now we are bringing it to the UK. So we're launching Mind Up, the curriculum, right here in the UK.
Okay.
I don't know how familiar you are with British children, just before you introduce Mind Up over here, you should be aware that they set fire to London.
Sadly, they're setting fire to too many.
Yeah.
So how old are your parents? How old are your children, Marcus?
They are 6 and 9.
Oh, right.
So, I mean, it's at this stage not really parenting, it's more crowd control. I mean, you know, I'm a dad who's around during the day, which means I'm treated with a great deal of suspicion. But also because I'm posh, and posh people sort of treat their children the same way they treat money, send it away, and when it comes back, it's bigger. But I'm around, like, with my kids, and I took my daughter to the park, and, like, I have a bit of facial hair, so a lot of the posh Wandsworth mummies are a bit kind of suspicious of me anyway. I was pushing my daughter on the swing, and she was making all the noises you'd hope for, whee, higher, and all the rest of it. I gave her a big push, and at the top of the swing, she shouted, "I could kick Jesus from here." Over the moon, delighted, second parent, and all the posh Wandsworth mummies going, "Come on, Tarquin, we're leaving."
Also, I think... I'm not a parent, but it would just be so terrifying because I know all the incredibly stupid, dangerous, I deserve to die situations.
Of course.
No, I was a treacherous little man who was like needed. You know, it's a disaster. You need to.
But if you have a kid, that's what they're doing, and you're at home powerless to stop them, and it would drive me mad.
It's very scary. It really is. You know, not to belabor this because I'm sure it's not show business, this particular story, but in terms of children themselves, if they don't learn how their brains are working, they don't know that when they are in that dangerous period, they take those chances, and those kids get killed in cars. So that's the part of the brain that's not finished yet. So part of it is to know not yourself but your brain.
Have you ever considered introducing these principles to bankers?
Politicians, I have.
When they screw up, then they learn from the mistake.
No, it won't work because they don't experience any of the pain.
Exactly.
That's the problem. Right. So they screw up, and then other people, right? So it's a little off. The metaphor doesn't quite work.
Serious intervention.
But talking about...
I think that's the definition of a sociopath, right?
Yes, it is.
What, being a banker?
No
I think, if you have absolutely no remorse when you,
do something bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have remorse?
No, not at the moment. I'm having a lovely time.
Oh, good.
You're sorry in general for what you've done, the bad things you've done?
Yeah, all right, okay, yes.
This is the interesting thing about this kind of a character, or because we look at our children and we find out that these children actually end up doing better in life than the ones that are less problematic.
Parenting before our eyes.
But I mean, that is true. So, it's those parents that look and say, my children's like a problem child.
But listen, we all got in trouble at school, and we all know the horror of exams, right? Terrible, terrible things. But one of our favourite websites... Are you kissing? Oh, no, you're not. Oh, right. I think you're just behind the cardigan just making out. Kicking off over there.
I didn't know I was on camera.
I just caught your eye.
You know what I said?
Oh, what?
I was a terrible student.
Were you kicked
the
out?
reason is because, look, we did really good things with our lives, and I want to say something to children who aren't necessarily great at reading. You can get better. Math sometimes is harder, but you want to know something? Just because you can't do that doesn't mean you're not going to do well in life.
Exactly. That's the thing, you do. It's kind of what you end up doing with it. Some kids fall through the cracks.
Yes, they
But
do.
it's just, I think maths is harder, but it's important for kids to know, like, if you are really bad at maths, you can always go into banking. And you'll be fine. You'll be fine.